Could you survive Doors' version of the rooms in real life as a human? Or would you get caught off guard and have the creatures of these white-walled rooms be the key to your demise? Well, that's our goal today, to try to prove that it is possible. So let's walk right into it. Some way, somehow, you wake up in this room. White walls, red floor, fake artificial lighting up ahead, 2 couches, and a portal. You try to go back through, but it's just not possible. The portal's gone, leaving only the outer frame. Which leaves only one option: to go make your way through the rooms and find your way to your own home planet. Well, I have a plan. Instead of just stopping once you get to door 200 and going through the exit, you are gonna have to go, that's right, all the way through 1,000 rooms and just hope that one of the portals there lead you to Earth. So with that being said, you need to sit in this room and figure out what in the world you're going to do to make it all the way to door 1000 without getting absolutely demolished by one of the entities. Since this is gonna take so long and it's going to be so tiring, how about taking a nap on the couches, because this room is actually completely safe. After that, do some warm-ups and exercising to get yourself moving, and since you're not a video game character, you can just take the shake light without having to pay 10 gold so that you don't have to go scavenge through the rooms. Since you were teleported here with nothing but the clothes on your back. And now, practice and prep for one of the entities coming up called A90, which is probably your most difficult threat here. What you want to do is just practicing staying still and freezing. Think of it as a game of freeze dance. I don't know if you ever played that as a kid. So you finally muster up the courage to open up your first door, your second door, your third door, and you're kind of getting the hang of it, even though it is really easy and danger-free in the first 60 doors. But this stretch is one of the most important in the whole run because this sets you up for success for the rest of your journey. For example, this journey is going to take you a really long time. To figure out specifically how much time that is, human walking speed is 3 miles an hour. Doors walking speed is 15 studs a second, or 9 miles an hour. Since the room takes about 2 hours to beat, that means that a human walking speed, it would be around 3 times slower, or 6 hours to get through the whole thing if you're going at a relatively good pace. So you're going to need food, water, and rest, which rest is already covered from your nap, but what about food and water? Well, there's this room called the cafeteria where there's a sink of water, a coffee machine, a toaster, a microwave, and a bunch of cabinets. Now, since I definitely don't trust that water, because who knows how long it's been sitting there, you can use the coffee machine to boil the water to kill off the bacteria. Since most coffee machines heat up the water and put the coffee beans in it, just make sure you take out the coffee beans first so you're not just drinking the coffee. And then you can go ahead and drink it. But in terms of food, you can check the cupboards and see if there's any food that hasn't gone expired, because once again, who knows how long this has been here. Then, because this is going to be such a long trek, you want to be very energized and alert. That sounds like something caffeine is good at. I wonder if there's any caffeine in this place. Oh, hey, there's some coffee. You can find it in this room on a desk with boiling hot coffee, which means that it's probably good. Who knows who put it there, but just drink it. Just make sure you don't drink too much coffee or else you'll maybe start to feel not so good, which is definitely the opposite of what we're trying to do. And if you have pockets, you can just hold your shake light in there for now, because it's not going to be dark for a little while. So now that you're energized and hydrated, you start speeding your way through the rooms. Faster and faster, and you're starting to get really confident at it. But then the dreaded room 60 starts getting closer. 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, and 60. Now is where the hard part starts. You're no longer safe because your first threat appeared. His name is A60. He acts like Rush from the Hotel in Mines, where you have to hide in the closets or lockers to stay away from him. But he's quite a bit quieter and can catch you off guard. And you may think the lockers are fine to hide in because, well, why wouldn't they? Well, I've actually thought this out because the lockers probably don't have handles on the inside, so you have to stick your fingers through the air vents to pull them closed when you get on the inside. And now you hear it. It's coming closer. You need to find a locker. You run to it. You get inside. And you survive. And suddenly, another threat starts to become apparent. It's getting a lot darker, so you're gonna have to start using your shake light, and instead of carrying it in your pocket, you're gonna always have to have it in your hand. You'll have to constantly shake it to recharge, but also not be too loud with it, because it does create a lot of noise by shaking it, so that you might not hear a 60 coming. So whenever you open the door, stop shaking your flashlight and listen. If a 60 is not coming, you can continue shaking your flashlight as quietly as you possibly can. Now, once again, you're at another deadly milestone, which is room 90, which is where our second threat/entity can start appearing. His name is A90. But that's not all, because it starts to get so dark to the point where you just can't not use your flashlight. Of course, your eyes will adjust a little bit, but it's better safe than sorry, so pretty much what I'm saying is keep your flashlight on at all times. So how A90 works is, as soon as he pops up in your vision and makes his special sound cue, you have to stand completely still. Or that's what the intended mechanic is, but it's impossible to stay completely still. It's just how it works. Which is actually fine, according to the game. Your camera movement still sways a little bit even when A90 comes, meaning if you still have a slight bit of movement, just if it's little sways back and forth, or your arm shaking a tiny little bit, as long as you're not looking around or moving around, apparently you're fine. So like you had practiced earlier, just try to stay as still as you can when his sound cue happens, which sounds a little bit like, but this really does shake things up for the next over 900 rooms. So no matter if you're just sitting in a room not making any progress, you're still not safe. And you're never going to be safe as long as you're still here in the rooms. And the unfair part is A90 comes very often with A60. So if A60's sound cue starts and you're trying to get to a locker, there's a big chance that A90 has to freeze you, which is fine because it also freezes the other entities, but it makes it so that running to the locker isn't an option anymore because it's going to be so much harder to stop while you're running. Meaning you have to always be close to a locker to be able to get in with just walking. So you continue on and on and on until finally room 118, room 119, room 120. This is where your final new threat presents itself. This one's called A120, and it's sort of like ambush, except way slower, and it also comes from the front. So running forwards is now not an option when dealing with this entity. Instead, if there's no locker, you have to run backwards. When he comes and you hide, you have to stay in the locker as long as you possibly can and wait till the sound is completely gone. Take this as a moment to relax, just to sit around for a little bit and take a little break. Yes, there's only 3 entities, but you're going to have to deal with them for so long, it's just going to get so tiring. You're probably going to lose focus and maybe even slip up a bit. So if somehow you end up getting attacked by A90 and he wins, there are some band-aids that are rarely scattered across the rooms that you can use to help yourself. But let's just hope that doesn't happen because it would be actual pain instead of just a virtual health bar. And at this point, the darkness starts to settle in and it's completely pitch black. You can't see a single thing without your flashlight whatsoever. Your eyes can't even get used to it because there's just no light at all. Now all you can do is make as much progress as you can while continuing to move forward. Going through doors, hiding from entities, freezing from entities, and using your flashlight so that you don't run into a wall because I said don't run into a wall. Anyways, every maybe 50 doors, you need to take a little bit of a break. You don't want to get too tired, and you don't want to go insane. Anyway, find a room with a chair, and find a comfortable position in that chair so you don't have to be moving around in case a 90 comes. Relax as much as you can, and refuel. Maybe even find another cup of that coffee to become more alert. You're gonna start to go insane from all this darkness and hiding and monsters. You're gonna start hearing things and seeing things, and all you need to do and all you can do is focus your attention, take a deep breath, and continue on. Because you're not safe and you can't stay here any longer. You've gone through so many doors. It just feels like a loop. It's all the same over and over and over again, to what seems like no avail. The same squeaking noise of the door and hiding and freezing and hiding and walking and shaking your light and walking and opening doors, and you've gone through so much. You pass by another exit, but you know if you just leave there, you're gonna go get sent back to the hotel, and that's just not much better. You need to find a permanent solution and go back to your real world. Go back to Earth. Your legs are burning. Your sanity is dropping by the minute, and you're starting to think that maybe it's just impossible. But you look up at the room number above the door, and you're 50 doors away. Somehow, some miracle, you've made it almost all the way through 1,000 doors of this torture. You just need to take this final bit slow, don't get too excited, and do what you need to do to get through the portals, which is gather a few pieces of gold. You can put them in your pockets, but you'll just need it for the final room. You're now at door 999. One door away. You open the door, and there you are. This is the time where you can maybe make your escape, but if it doesn't work, this will all be for nothing. So, here's the plan. You throw the gold into the portals to open them up so you can see what's on the other side. If it's not Earth, don't jump in. If you finally find the right portal that leads you back to what seems like your home planet, you need to make a final leap of faith. Here goes nothing. Congratulations, you beat Doors' version of the rooms in real life and made it back to Earth. I know this ending was really far-fetched, but this is the only way that I can think of being able to get back to Earth. And I didn't want to end this video on, oh, you made it to door 1000 and you can't get back. Womp womp. A few things I want to say is, first of all, shout out to Snaky Art, who also made a Rooms IRL video just like this. And second of all, this video is part of a series, and so far we've also done the hotel and back door, so if you want to see more like this, go check it out. But that's gonna bring us to the end of this video. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and maybe even subscribe if you think I deserve it. Once again, thank you so much for watching this entire video. I really appreciate it. Anyway, once again, thank you so much for watching, have an impeccable day, and goodbye.